right. What's up, everyone? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you reside in the world right now. For me, it's still afternoon, but it's still early morning to me. But all jokes aside, how's everyone doing? Yeah, we got some stuff to talk about today. If you guys are familiar with me and who I am, my name is John or Johnny. I go by either or. And I run a little YouTube channel called Johnny Crypto, and pretty much I'm a full-time crypto trader at the moment. And what I primarily focus on, the strategy that I use, is something called the ABC method. If you guys aren't aware what the ABC method is, I can give you a brief introduction and we can go into more detail in that throughout the session. But in today's session, that's where we're primarily going to be focusing on here. If you guys have any questions regarding ABCs, um, anything how I trade, and anything regarding you know anything in between, like the systems, the how I take entries, take profits. I've had a bunch of different questions over the past year or so with doing this. So, guys, please, this is the session where you guys can go ahead and ask me anything. I invite you guys in the Discord to go ahead and interrupt me whenever you guys want if you have a question, or I will be doing my best to keep an eye on chat on the Discord end and the YouTube and Twitch end as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So, first things first, I'm just gonna give you a brief introduction of what the ABC method is. It's basically where we take a version, it's a modified version of Elliott wave theory. If you don't know what Elliott wave theory is basically where you look at the market in sections of waves regarding, or I guess categorized in impulse waves and corrective waves. Impulse waves are pretty much very accelerated and aggressive uptrends or downtrends, usually categorized in fives. Right? There's a bunch of different rules that go into Elliott wave. I'm not going to go through all of those today. And then followed by some sort of ABC pullback or ABC flat correction, irregular flats, expanded flats. There's a bunch of different options in between. And so basically what this I guess what the ABC method is a modified version of this. And the author of the book that I read, that I learned this from, Ian Copsley, from the book of let me go ahead and pull it up here. You know what? I'll do it here towards the end. If you guys are interested, I'll post it in the description of the YouTube and Twitch end, or in the comments, as well as if you guys are here in the Discord listening. If you guys are interested on that, I'll go ahead and send over the what the book is in the either I'll link it in the Discord, or I'll go ahead and DM it to you if you guys want to reach out and ask for it. But basically what this calls for and what this is basically challenging the idea of the complexity of Elliott wave theory and what it comes with. One of the things that I've preached, one of the things that I believe when it comes to trading, is that more does not equal better. And to me, keeping things as simplified as possible without having too much obstructions in your face or in the way will lead you on a path of making good trading decisions, and also limit you to option paralysis, which is a big concern, or a big, I guess, complaint I get when it comes to not just Elliott wave theory, but just different methods out there that might be a little bit more complex. At the end of the day, you don't have to have all this stuff on your screen. You don't have to be a very exact or detailed trader in order to be successful in this game. And that's something I do like to preach. So pretty much what the ABC method calls for is that instead of classifying things in impulse and corrective waves, you can actually go ahead and categorize your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5s into ABCs. And then obviously you have your ABC pullbacks, which you mentioned before, but then these turn into much larger structures. And then we can go ahead and navigate the market a little bit better based on simplifying things into ABCs. So, quick little introduction. If you guys are interested in learning more from me, or interested in learning more about this method, I invite you, like I said, maybe if you have any questions during this stream, if you guys go ahead and check the channel link in the description below. That's the link to my channel. The homepage video of what you'll see there is actually the introduction to the ABC method. It kind of gives you a little bit more overview of what it does, how I do it. And yeah, from there, I live stream 3 times a week where you guys can go ahead and ask me any questions, just like, we're doing today. But this is a little bit more of a personal session between me and, the members here in David Tech's Discord. So yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and just start off with the larger time frame analysis, which I like to go off of at first, and we kind of like will zoom in and work our way into what we're currently doing, or what the current price action is doing, how we can navigate it. First things first, we do have the possibility of this being an A to a B to a C. I'll go ahead and draw the ABCs. There's pretty much ABCs within all of these waves, and most of the time, there is going to be an ABC within each wave. Sometimes it's not necessarily the case. Sometimes might get very aggressive uptrends or downtrends in one direction to go ahead and complete a setup. But based off of my experience and what I have seen over the past couple of years doing this, it seems like each wave wants to go ahead and put in its own ABC. So it looks a little cluttered at first, but I'm just trying to show you guys how I came up with this conclusion. And the question is, are we done, or is this the beginning of something? Okay. What I mean by that is this ABC the end of the actual bear market? Okay. If that is the case, how we take our entries, which is something I'll go over again as well, is pretty much if we're looking for a short position, we have reversals and continuations. Okay. Reversal setups are something where we're coming off an aggressive uptrend. All right. And then let's say within this uptrend, you have an A to a B to a C. All right. And then within that C wave, we like to go ahead and try to time the tops and the bottoms. Now, we don't go ahead and we don't take exact levels. All we do is allow price to go ahead and establish and build these setups for us. We take what's available. A great example of what a reversal setup is this section of price action here. As you can see, we had a very aggressive uptrend, A, B, C. All right. Within the C wave, we have an A to a B to a C. So with this reversal short trend, okay, what we're looking for is basically once price gets back above the established A, we're basically going to short every single time price gets below. Okay. And what you're going to do and how I do things is basically once you get that entry, we say your stop loss, for example purposes, is 2.25. We can go over that later on if you guys are interested in learning more about stop losses, how I structure things. But pretty much you're just going to let things ride. And then that's a initial reversal setup. All right. And from there, if you're looking to play into the larger trend, how I do things is that a lot of the times these reversal setups lead into potential larger moves. And from there, a reversal trade will end up switching over to a continuation trade. And we'll go ahead and try to take continuation shorts or longs, depending on the direction. I'll give you an example for both. Okay. Once we have our established initial reversal trade, what we're going to do is basically wait for another ABC to show up on a relative time frame or perspective. And what we're going to do is basically, I'm going to use this red line to signify the entry. Okay. All you're going to do is once you get an established ABC, you're going to basically take profit as soon as price gets back, crosses above the pivot of the A. Okay. And then you're going to allow price to either continue upwards or take the reversal short and basically compound the gains you made from the last trade and take advantage of the next swing down. Right. And you're just going to keep doing that over and over until you can't anymore. Right. ABC, short setup, take it again. Now this next one I'm going to show you is a little bit more difficult just because it was a little bit more of a a little bit of a larger setup. But I did take it within the ABC, within the C. All right, same thing. Take profit, take the reversal, or take the continuation, sorry. All of these trades that I mentioned were continuation setups. And basically the goal of this is, like I said, to make the most out of the price movement that you can until you can't do it anymore. All right, take profit, re-enter. And then one more here. I'll have to go into a smaller time frame, but these last two trades are the most recent examples of a initial continuation setup and then another continuation setup. Unfortunately, I was not using this method until we got to about here. It's something I discovered. It's something I was experimenting with. And now I'm decided to go full force into it. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to make the most out of the bear market. But I'll give you an example here of how we do things on the other side. What is a reversal long setup look like, and how can we play into the continuation of a possible bullish market conditions. Okay. So we've been in a downtrend for, over a year at this point. And what we're looking to do is take a possible reversal trade. Now, there's a couple different positions we've had on here. We've taken this one. We've also taken this one. Now, like I said, sometimes it's a little bit messy, but because we play both sides of the coin, because we like to go ahead and try to take advantage of either direction, it does do a great job of balancing out, and basically overall we walk away profitable from from the case or from the extended time period that I've been using this. Moreover, more so an example of how the continuation basically goes ahead and puts you in a much better position. I'll go ahead and explain why in a moment, but there's larger setups and smaller setups we tried to play into the reversal. Some of these did not work, but eventually we took this setup down here off of this ABC. All right, let me go into a little bit smaller time frame to show you. Basically, we had a very aggressive dump off of the FTX news, a larger pullback, and then a continuation downward. Now, it's hard to see, but I'll show you this in a moment. We got a ever so slight wick below. All right, remember the premise. All right, actually, I didn't tell you guys this, but in case you guys are new, we went over ABC short setups, but basically looking for a high, pullback and a continuation. Basically, you're taking price or you're taking shorts under when price gets back underneath the A, right? The opposite is true for bullish setups, okay? We're looking for a downtrend, a pullback, and a continuation, right? As soon as price gets back below the pivot of the A wave, you got to go ahead and take a long position every single time. Sometimes it might be a struggle, but sometimes you get good situations like what we have down here where we get one little tiny wick and then we're done. Put it in the bottom, we may possibly retest and work our way back up. Okay. That's basically what happened here with BTC. It's kind of hard to see at first, but if I zoom in, you can see that we did get an ever so slight wick to the downside. And we were able to we were able to long the bottom. My entry was around 15,475, I believe. I'll have to go back and check. I posted my results on that trade in the Discord. So if you guys have seen it, that's the position I'm talking about. If you haven't seen it, I'll go ahead and show it to you guys later. But pretty much long story short, we were able to catch a initial reversal, right? And all we're doing is looking for bullish continuation setups that are relative in time frame comparing to not only the previous position, but just the overall trend in general. But one of the things I've realized when it comes to playing in a possible aggressive uptrends like we might be in here, I might have to go ahead and kind of focus on the possibility that we might not get a full extended correction and try to take profit off of the best setup that I can within certain price regions. Okay. An example of that is we had a very clear A to a B. This C was a mess. This C wave was an absolute mess. Right. And I basically held it the entire time. The parameters that I was looking for a larger A to a B to a C, a larger pullback like this to take profit, but we never really got it until we got up to this region here. So if you guys were in that initial long trade, it took profit around this period, fantastic. Now, unfortunately, we took profit here. We re-entered, but we've gotten stopped out. Let me show you guys the exact setup. And in this case situation, I walked away net positive. I took one loss taking this trade so far, and we're doing good. I also was shorting off of this ABC here. Now, I don't want to go too far into this because I want to give you guys the larger time frame analysis first. But the last thing I'm going to say for now is I shorted this ABC I shorted this level off of this ABC, and I'm currently holding, and I'm just going to continue to hold these positions all the way down until price gives me a good bottoming signal. Well, sorry, a good continuation setup. I don't know why I said that. Basically, what we're looking for is we're waiting for price to come down. I'm not sure if we're going to keep going or maybe, we're finding a bottom here soon, but let's say we do keep going. All right. looking for a larger A to maybe a possible larger B. All right. And I'll show you something like this. Let's see. Hopefully, somewhere in between, we can catch an ABC here and then go ahead and just do the same thing we did before. Take profit, re-enter here, and hopefully catch the continuation downward. Or if we do end up, if this setup does end up failing, and let's say we do put in a sharp bottom, something like this, I would say it'd probably be something like this. Let's say we just put in a bottom like this, and then we'd say we're working our way up, something like that. We can go ahead and lock in the profit from the previous position. Try to get in on a reversal or potential reversal and ride the wave to the upside. But let me go ahead and just go over the larger time frame analysis first. I usually do that first, but I do like to sometimes start from pretty much from zero. Give you guys a brief explanation of what ABCs are, how I do things, and from there we can go ahead and look over the larger time frames, and just give you guys a little bit of a rundown how I do things. So keeping that in mind, we mentioned before the possibility of this being a possible A to a B to a C. All right. And I drawn all the waves in between here that look possible, or sorry, that look like a completed ABC all the way down. Okay. And according to my definitions and according to how I see things, this looks like a completed correction. Now, the question is that a completed correction, or are we possibly just beginning something? What I mean by that is, what if we're working our way into a possible larger A, maybe a relief rally to like 32 to 35K, 36K. And then maybe we come back down, put in a lower low, and maybe go ahead and test those lower 10K regions that everyone keeps talking about. To me, this would probably be the best way to do so. So if that is the case, we can go ahead and that's how we come up with the possibilities of how to play the in-betweens of the waves, is ultimately looking at the larger goal and understanding how we could get up to these regions or down to these regions, depending on which direction you're looking at. So that's one variation. Another variation is maybe we are done here. Maybe this is it. A, B, C. Maybe we're working on a larger, A to a B to a C, something like that. And we eventually continue, have a slow, not a slow, but a larger uptrending market to where we go up and test that 100K region that everyone's been talking about for the past, God knows how long. Not everyone, not recently, but since the last time we were in a bull market. The other possibility is that maybe the C wave is not done. This is a little bit more of like my not my favorite option, or not my favorite. My favorite option of what could be happening. We could have an ABC to an A. Maybe we finished the B and maybe we're coming back down for a C. This is very well possible. If that is the case, regardless if it's this situation or the situation where we're in a B wave up to 36K and then come back down, to me personally, I would like to see, well, in order for either of those options to happen, we have to have a cross back below the low about 15.5. So we'll have to see what happens. Me personally, like I said, I'm on the side of we're going to pump up to 36K and before eventually coming back down, but we can easily come back down regardless. Drew says, "Morning, bro. Good to see you, my friend. How you doing?" So with that being said, let's go ahead and dive into the quote unquote smaller time frames. Now, if you guys are new to the channel or new to listening to me, something I do want to preach to you guys and hopefully get this idea. I would say more ingrained into your analysis and how you do things is, guys, please stick to a larger perspective. Okay. When it comes to identifying ABCs, one of the rabbit holes that people get into is that they think, okay, you know what, if this does work, I can go to a 5-minute trade every single ABC, or trade ABCs all the way up and down and get every single possible correction. Sometimes it does work, don't get me wrong, but more often than not, the hardest thing that you run into, or the biggest challenge you will run into doing this, is understanding where you are in the levels that matter. Okay. What will happen is you'll end up drawing ABCs all day. You'll come up with a bunch of different pivots down here, up here, um, down here. Oh, whoops. And then what will end up happening is eventually you'll get lost and not understand which levels matter, or the major pivots. And the only way to really go ahead and avoid that is to go to a larger time frame, larger perspective, and focus on the much larger setups. Right? If you can't see it, the best part is if you can't see it on a 1 hour to 30-minute perspective, which is like the 1 hour is the main time frame I like to look at. 30-minute is the closest I'll zoom into. But if I can't see it in any of those, in neither of those perspectives, to me, it's just not worth taking. So at the moment, if I go to a 30-minute, I'll show you the setup I'm currently looking at. If you guys are in David's group, I did post this. I was looking at this as a larger A to a B to a C. All right, I'll go ahead and draw this in yellow. All right, as you can see, like I'm on a 30-minute. I may have pinched in a little, like pinched, zoomed, but I'm not zooming in. If you take your mouse wheel and scroll out as much as you can, all right, you're not going to be able to move. That's like a good place to start at, or at least that's the lowest time frame I would go into on a 30-minute. And to me, we do have an ABC within the C. So this could be two things. One, we're playing into the possibility of this being a larger A to a B to a C, which is something I'm okay with taking just in case I'm wrong. Or the alternative, which I'm kind of leaning towards, is maybe we are bottoming out here soon. A lot of people were expecting us to come down, test the lows in the middle of this range. We could perhaps just go ahead, just put in a quick reversal, and then continue our way back to the upside. That's what I'm currently taking a trade off of. Like I said, if you guys are in my group or David's group, I have posted this setup. I'm currently trying to see if what price is going to do. One of the reasons why I'm a little bit more, I guess, well, quote unquote, lenient when it comes to these positions is something I've talked about in the past, is understanding that sometimes when you're in aggressive uptrends, like I said, we don't know if we're in aggressive uptrend, right? But one of the things that I do know is that if we are in an aggressive uptrend, if you go back to previous price history, there's not too many opportunities you could have taken to go ahead and get into ABCs. Now, mind you, I'm on a 2 hour, so on a 30 minutes, it's going to look a lot better. But there's only a couple opportunities you had on a relative decent time frame that you could have got into this potential upswing or this potential swing to the upside. Maybe you could have got in here. But still, in my opinion, there wasn't too many opportunities to go ahead and ride the wave up. That's one of the reasons why I'm approaching things the way I am now, just in case we are in a much more aggressive uptrend. But I think we will get our answer here. Sooner than later. I don't know why that was a tongue twister for me. But I think we'll get an answer here sooner than later of what is going to happen, the levels it wants to go ahead and test. But at the moment, that's currently the two positions I'm in. Is that long from down there? And I'm also currently shorting from up here in this region off of this ABC. Let me just go ahead and draw that. Let me go ahead and just double check, make sure there's anything to miss anything in the Discord. All right, cool. I see T Money is typing. I'll come back and check on that in a second. Let's move on to Ethereum. So if you guys, like I said, if you guys aren't familiar with what I do and how I do things, I pretty much trade the main coins, which is BTC, ETH, and LTC. I will trade an alt coin every once in a while. I'll show you guys some of the positions I have taken on alts. But at the moment, let me go ahead and just enhance this again. All right. So same thing with Ethereum. We got to look at the larger perspective here and focus on what could be happening. All right. Now you guys can see all these levels here, but I'll make the connection here in a moment. So there's a couple of different variations. One, actually, let me go back. Let me just make sure I don't miss. T Money, on this, if you're asking a question, just give me a minute or so and I'll come back to you. I know you're typing. I just don't want to, I just want to keep in the flow of things. So on a larger perspective, all right, we do have a possibility of this being a larger A to a B to a C. Right now, the question is, like I said, just like BTC, are we done or is this the beginning of something? There's a couple different claims you can make and a couple different ideas you can come up with. If this isn't the bottom, maybe this is a larger A. Maybe we're working on a B. Maybe we put in a B wave, and maybe we're coming back down, either putting in a larger B wave within. How do I say this? Either we're putting in a larger B wave, and then we're going to continue up, and then complete a larger, even a more macro B wave, or we can go ahead and presume that maybe we're going to come down, putting the low. And this will be an A to a B to a C. Okay, that's one option. Another option is, like I said before, maybe we're putting in a larger A to a B to a C, or maybe this B is going to come down and extend, right? And this is going to connect a much larger B wave. Let's see. Hey, Johnny, are there any fib levels ABC should be make to valid, invalid, or do you spot them? No, and most of the time, T Money, it's all by how I view things. I don't use fibs. You could use fibs as a kind of a ballpark area. One of the things that I've noticed, because I used to use fibs in the past, the reason why I don't use them anymore is because it creates expectations of what you think the market is going to go to. One of the things I do like to preach, one of the things I do like to get across and have you guys understand is that with this strategy, like I said, we're not going to go ahead and try to time tops and bottoms or exact areas of where price wants to go. We're more focused on letting price show us where it wants to reverse and where it wants to go, if that makes sense. Now, obviously, we're not here to, we can't exactly predict the bottom using that method. But price does a really good job at showing us potential tops, potential bottoms. And our job is to take those positions and just let it run. Make sure we get as much out of it as we can. But one of the things I have noticed in the past is that, for example, let's see if I can find a good example here. Price likes to find some sort of support. Now, I'm not saying it is the final support, but it does like to find some sort of support on like between the 0.5 to 0.44 area of a larger ABC or just any ABC in general. So in this case, it would be this A to a B to a C, right? And you would be drawing this as a potential A to a B to a C. All right, as you can see, we kind of danced around the 0.5 to 0.441 region. We did have an ABC down here, but we did not exactly bottom out at the 0.5 to 0.441. I'm just not the biggest fan of using fibs now, just because of the way I do things, and the reason why is because it sets expectations if you're in your head of what could be happening, and that's basically that's how I do things, and that's not the best way to approach things, in my opinion. So at the moment, like I said, I do not currently use fibs, but if you want to use them as a guideline, like I said, you're going to take a larger ABC, connect the trends together, and you're basically going to pull back from the top to the bottom. Look for the 0.5 to 0.441, and you should see price somewhat respect. In this case, it did not respect it. We kind of just fell straight through it. Actually, we back tested it as resistance, but just keep that in mind, though. Like I said, price is not going to respect those levels all the time. You could use it as kind of a guideline, but I wouldn't make any serious trading decisions, whether it's taking a position or taking profit, just based off of the fib levels themselves. Thank you, Johnny. No problem, T Money. So let's go ahead and continue. Let's see. So yeah, I was on ETH. Sorry, I got distracted for a second. I got lost. Ethereum. Right. So for Ethereum, going back to what I said before, there's a couple different variations of what could be happening. Like I said, the second one is that maybe we're putting in a larger B wave, and then we're going to come down and extend for maybe a much larger continuation of the bear market. That's very well a possibility. If that is the case, we're going to need price to go ahead and come up past the pivot of this A, which is around 2044. Right. So like I said before, A to a B. Make sure you just use the actual tool itself. A, B, C. Right. That's another possibility. or we can be getting an extended B wave. I'm not the biggest fan of this just because it's taking way too much time to draw out. And I like to put things from a visual perspective. And it's possible, but I just don't like the connection of how this is coming out. But it definitely could be a case. It could be a possible scenario. So if that is the case, we need this level to be broken. Around 1070. Then you can go ahead and try to catch the reclaim of that level if we do come back below. But if we do come back down and fail 1070, the next step is retesting that low and most likely putting in a lower low in that region. But yeah, pretty much what we can go ahead and pinpoint, or not pinpoint, but what we can lead into, or the conclusion we can lead into, is that there's a couple different places that ETH needs to go to in order for us to confirm certain moves. And at this point, all we have to do is just wait. Now, when I dive into the quote unquote smaller perspective, come on, I thought I right clicked out of that tool. Okay. When it comes to smaller perspective, on a 1 hour, like I said, 1 hour is pretty much the main time frame I like to use. We have a larger A to a B to a C. Now, unfortunately, unlike BTC, we did not put in a lower low. So to me, that's a double bottom. That does not count. You could technically, this is actually going to be a much larger A to a B to a C. Yeah, like that. A, B, C, A, B, C. And then there's going to be there's going to be an ABC within the C wave, right? And that's the trade we have taken. And that's the trade we are currently holding short. And as long as we're below 1684, ETH does look bearish on a much larger scale. We do have some potential reversal points. I'm probably going to try to attempt ETH, but we'll have to see how this goes, to be honest. I'm on the fence when it comes to this, just because it does develop a little bit differently. I kind of do like this more as a larger developed structure compared to BTC. But that's just my personal opinion. I'm probably gonna, now that I'm looking at this, I'm probably gonna end up trying to take this. So basically what we're doing in this situation is we're waiting for price to get back above 1487. All right. And once price gets back above there, we're going to take a long position and try to play into the continuation of the bull market. All right. And this goes back into what I was saying before with the continuation method. Is what the continuation method is pretty much. All right. And instead of BTC putting that lower low, like in this case, instead of ETH putting a lower low like BTC did, we ended up having this ABC. All right. And then we put in the major pivot there at around 1179, 1178. And we took that trade once we got back up into this region, I believe. So it was maybe 3 or 4 times I got stopped out the entire trade, but I brought it up to the top. I took profit at this pivot here. I'm gonna, you know what? Let me just clear all this off the screen so it doesn't look too cluttered. But off of that setup, I took profit here. Well, actually, no, sorry, the more exact level. I missed out on the exact break of that level, so I kind of got it in the middle, in between here. So 1588, I took profit. And now what we're doing is we're waiting for this wave to possibly end. I'm going to go ahead and attempt to take this ETH setup. What we'll do here is maybe once we're done here, I'm going to run you guys through how to set up trigger trade and how I set up the bot here. Hopefully I have enough time to do so. I just want to get through the analysis of the main coins first. All right. So I'm going to take profit on that as well. Take that long setup there and go ahead and continue to hold short off of this pivot. Now what? The good thing about this happening is, regardless of what scenario happens, we do benefit in the long run. If this setup fails and we continue downward, we're going to be able to ride the wave of the next leg down. If we put in this bullish setup, we come up, complete, and end up stopping us out, that gives us another reason, not potential reason to go ahead and at least test 2032 as like an example. That's about 12.66 R&R ratio. I actually really like that a lot as a good risk to reward ratio. I'm not going to take profit exactly at the top there, but just to kind of ballpark where we could be going. If we do push past that resistance around 1684, The next step is going to be 2032. Just because there's really nothing. I mean, there is something. Did we test that? Okay. Yeah, but possible pit stop around 1789, but the main pivot is around 2032, right? And then let's go over LTC real quick because those are pretty much the main positions I'm looking to take. All right, so for LTC, how we looking? Okay, LTC is in an interesting spot. Larger time frame analysis. The question is, like I said before, are we done or are we in the middle of something? Or it's just the beginning of, or sorry, in this case, it'd be the middle. Was this ABC the beginning or the end? We have an ABC to support the ending decision. We also have an ABC to support, or that same ABC could be used as the beginning of an A. We're working on a B and maybe a much larger C. This is much more of a macro setup. Me personally, there's a lot of in between stuff I think is going to be happening until we get that major decision, if this is going to be the case. If we're going off of the previous point or the previous observation we made, all right, we have a larger A to a B to a C. And then if we are done here, I think personally we're working on a much larger A to a B to a C, continuing higher. We'll have to see how this plays out, but ultimately that's what I'm looking for. Let's go down to a 30-minute, or sorry, 2-hour. If we are going to come down to a B wave, I probably will attempt to take this short if we do come back below this because it's a major macro pivot. I'll show you the setup of how I'm viewing this, and let's see. To me, this is going to be a much larger A to a B to a C. Right. This is a much larger structure. I'm on a 2 to 3 hour. I could see this on an 8-hour if I really wanted to. It's not as clear in an 8-hour, but a 4-hour, it's pretty clear to me. So this setup is going to hold significantly. So if LTC does come back below 85.40 and we continue to push lower, I'm looking for a larger pullback at the very least, if not a larger continuation to the downside to potentially put in a lower low. We just got to take it one level at a time, though. That's pretty much it when it comes to LTC and the big three. Let's see if anyone has any questions for me. I'm sorry. I was not ready for that. Skinny D. Do you typically like to hedge trade like you're describing now? And if it does pump, when will you consider closing the short? So great question. When it comes to hedge trading, okay, the main purpose of our hedge positions is to go ahead and basically put ourselves in the best situation possible to ride out both scenarios. Okay. And when we decide to do this, I necessarily don't take profit on either side until we have a continuation setup. The reason why is because if, let's say this is for an example, okay, I am in this long position. And as you can see, we're still currently holding above it. But let's say this turns, instead of this being a larger push to the upside, like I'm hoping it could possibly turn into. What if this is just a pullback? Right? There's no reason to take profit on the short from up here if we're only just pulling back. All right. To me, you have such a good position, and to me, and based off what we're going off of here, this is a major pivot in my opinion. There's no reason to let this go. And I would rather get into a long position, have price push up, stop me out of the short, and basically give me a little bit more of a guarantee, not a guarantee, but give her a higher probability that we're going to continue to the upside. Right. Now we're using about 3% stop. We're using a 3% stop loss at the moment. So to me, that's a lot of room for price to go ahead and move. I'm not saying that it's I'm not saying it's the most aggressive stop loss that I've used, but what this does is it gives you a balance of it gives you a higher probability that price will have to go ahead, go up 3% past your pivot and stop you out and then come back below. If that is the case, if we do something like that right now, we do have a possibility of this becoming a larger A to a B to a C. Hold on, let me draw that for you. 1 hour. There we go. We do have the potential of this becoming a larger A to a B to a C. All right. That's if we come back below. Right. And this is another short I will take. But pretty much if we do decide to come up and continue to pump, I'm kind of banking on the idea that we're going to keep going. Now, just because I think something is going to happen doesn't mean it's going to happen. That's why I'm taking my shorts from down here or up in this region if we do come up and put in a higher high, just in case. All right. Because we don't know where price is going to go. So for me and how I hedge and how I trade, to me, a lot of the times, a lot of the cases that these hedge trades end up turning into larger swing trades, right? I just don't let these go. I let them go when price or when the charts actually show me when it's time to let go. The only way for go ahead to determine that is, let's say we do continue to dump, all right, as this, a possible scenario. We come up with a larger B and a C. If we get a larger ABC, all right, then I'll go ahead and take profit off of the previous setup and re-enter down here. And if we lose that position, we lose it. If we continue downward and let's say it's a much larger swing to the downside, fantastic. But if not, we can always catch the long position and eventually, we'll get a very large winner in either direction. So hopefully that answers your question. Okay. Let's see. Sounds familiar to range trading hedge concepts. Just capturing the best possible move for the bigger swing move. Yes, exactly. Yep. You got hit the nail on the head on that. Great question. Or sorry, that was a great comparison. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go look over a couple. I'm gonna look over one altcoin of my choice. I'll let you guys go over if you guys want to pick an altcoin for me to look at. Please let me know. No problem, Skinny D. All right. So I'm gonna go over an altcoin of my choice. I'm gonna pick a coin that I'm currently in a position in. And that is Matic. Actually, no, let's do KDA because I did Matic last time. All right. So for KDA, I'm sorry for the noise in the background. Garbage trucks decided to come in and pick up garbage at middle of the afternoon. But for KDA, we do have a larger potential. Where is it? Actually, I need more price action. Sorry, excuse me. KDA USD. I think KuCoin has the most. Yes, KuCoin has the most. All right. So as you can see, I drew on this chart previously, but coming up from the top of the previous bull market, we have a larger ABC to an A. I think this is the bottom here. To a B to a possible C, or maybe we're working on putting in a larger C here. I personally don't know yet. But if that is the case, we were looking for an opportunity to go ahead and take a short, right? On a 2-hour, guys, this was a very large ABC. I did not take this exact position. Right. We have an A to a B to a C. All right. And if I zoom in a little bit more, the goal for me was to take an ABC within the C. Okay. Now, this is going to be, and this might come off as a little confusing, right? ABC here. Then there's another ABC here. Let me just clear things up here so I can show you guys. So, a lot of the times you'll find that there's ABCs within C waves. Okay. And then sometimes if the setup is even larger than we expected, like if you go on a 2-hour and see the exaggerated C wave, I will go ahead and zoom in a little bit, keeping a good perspective in mind. Like I said, a 30-minute to an hour, look for an ABC. And sometimes that ABC has an ABC. All right. Unfortunately, another thing you can, that people run into is that they start doing this and then they start zooming into, okay, well, if I can find this on a 30-minute, I can go to a 15. This could be an ABC too. All right. If that's the case, well, let's take this off the table. We'll try to go into the smaller perspective. All right, well, if that's an ABC within the C, then I can do this. All right, that's an A to a B to a C. All right, but it looks like there's another C wave here. So if I go to a 3-minute, I can go, okay, there's an A to a B to a C here. And you just don't want to do this. This is you're getting lost. This is what I call getting lost in the sauce. All right. You're taking a strategy and analogy and a concept that you're learning and applying it to time frames that don't necessarily matter. All right. I might be zooming in here on a 3-minute, but if I go to an hourly, 2 hourly, it's a speck on the map. You can't even tell what the hell I was just looking at. This is why I always try to preach to you guys that who guys who are doing this or following the strategy, please, 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 please stick to a large perspective that's clear, concise, that can show you the setups. Okay. For me, there's an ABC within the C. I took this short, right? And I'm currently holding it. All right. And I'm just going to let this go and play into the larger potential of coming down and testing this region here. Or what I'll end up doing is I'll probably end up taking profit around like 50%, which actually, yeah, it's going to be past that mark. Okay, yeah. So I'll end up probably hold this all the way back down to the bottom if that's the case. That would be fantastic. But, like I said, if I go back to a 1 hour and we kind of zoom in a little bit, we pinch. If I can find a nice ABC, something like that, I'll go ahead and take profit, re-enter, give me another possibility of continuation down, something like this. Go ahead and actually test that. But until we get that, I can't necessarily make that decision yet. I'm just going to let this ride for as long as I can. Let's see. Vlad says BNB hot today. Yeah, we can do BNB. Do BNB.
Thanks.
You figure out. Come on, there you go. BNB. USD. All right, so BNB put in a nice dump. All right, this looks like. All right, so for BNB, ultimately, this looks like. Before I say that, we go to larger time frame. All right, this is a messy one, but this is an A to a B to a C. We put in that lower low. We're currently above the macro pivot, so things are looking bullish at the moment from a larger scale, obviously. But keeping that in mind, if this is the C wave, we're going to be primarily focusing on the next section of price action. Once you find the C wave and potential bottom, we got to just focus on what's going on here. All right. So if I do that, I got to go to a 2 hour, maybe even a 3 hour. Yeah, 3 hour. If I go to a 3 hour, we have a larger A to a B to a C. All right. And this looks like it's a larger A wave. The reason why I say that is that we have a larger ABC to a B. Let me just delete some of this off. So we have a larger B wave possibility. And then we have another, looks like we're working on an A to a B to a C. And it looks like we probably got to come up and want to break that high. I would like to see that. It doesn't have to happen, but I would like to see that. Another alternative, what could be happening is that maybe this is a extended B wave. All right. And we're working on an A to a B. Maybe come up and put it one more high, or maybe we topped out here and put in a larger C. If that is the case, I'm going to mark this pivot that price needs to get back below in order for me to confirm that, as well as the bottom here. All right. And yeah, that's pretty much the main scenarios for that's the main scenarios for BNB. I'll go ahead and look at a little bit more of a smaller time frame to see if we can figure out a way to handle either scenarios. All right, so if I go to a 30-minute, you did have Let's go to an hour first. Right. Let me just delete some of this off the table. So if we are gonna come down putting these lows, I do see this as a potential A, B, C. I personally would have taken the ABC within the C. Would have been this pivot. All right. Once we got that reversal, I would be holding this short and then basically letting this ride and see what happens. Hopefully we get a continuation downwards. If we are going to come up, this looks like possibly a reversal here or the beginning of another leg, in my opinion. So it's either a reversal or maybe we're working on something like this. We'll have to see how this develops in the future, but those are the main pivots for me. Yeah, that's pretty much it for BMB. So we're gonna take a look at. I know. Oh, let's see. Skinny. On average, how many ABC patterns do you typically see in a given week that you may attempt? I'm still working to pull back on over trading, so curious. A reasonable number. It looks like a 2-hour chart. Great question. So for me personally, it seems like setups like come up. I would say once every if I had to give you an average, I would say every I'll say 2 weeks. I'll say 1 to 2 weeks on average. Sometimes longer, sometimes shorter. Now when the setups come versus how long it takes to trade them, sometimes you might be playing a certain setup for a couple days. Sometimes it might be just a one and done. Something like, this area price action, I did take this setup, okay? But I didn't take every single one on the way up. I basically waited. Once I got the second high, then I moved my entry to this one here. All right, so as you can see, the first setup we got was on the 25th of January. And by the time we got this second one, there was a 29th. And by the time the actually setup was active was the 1st of February. So it's sometimes we might get set up in a certain section of price action. It might take a couple days to a week to play out. Sometimes we'll be stuck playing that region, but eventually what I have noticed is that price will most likely have an answer for us within a week of setups arising, if that makes sense. All right. I hope that answered your question, Skinny. Perfect. Awesome. But yeah, unfortunately, it is more of like a swing trading strategy, but for a lot of different reasons, swing trading for me is easier to keep up on. It's less frequent, so it's a lot easier to balance. If you have a career or job in between, also trading as well. There's other tools to balance that, like if you use the Trigger Trade Static Bot. That and combined with ABCs, trust me, makes your life a whole lot easier. I can sleep. Before I was doing that, I was being, I would get up in the middle of the night sometimes, take positions. I would have to be at my computer or my phone at all times. It just makes it so much more convenient for you. So for me personally, just a combination using the Trigger Trade Bot and ABCs have been phenomenal, have been a life-changing combination there. So, oh, you know what? Maybe I should pay attention. You know what? Let's go back to ETH. I forgot about ETH. Oh shit, it's sitting at the entry now. All right. So what I'll do real quick, I gotta do something. I want to get into a trade. I don't know if I want to take. Should I take this? See, the setup is there. A, B to a C. Come on, you guys are watching me think about this, doing this live. A, B to a C. Now, when it comes to these situations, let me grab my phone. What I do in these
Trading with
situations,
Johnny Crypto, people.
I think this is the first time this has happened on my stream, I think ever. So in these kind of situations, like I said, I like to kind of brainstorm quickly to see, okay, if this is an ABC, if this is bottoming, fantastic. We can continue up to here. All right. If this isn't the case, and we were putting in a pullback, is it something is it something worth taking? That's the main question I'm asking myself. The setup is there. Everything lines up from my perspective. Am I willing to take the chance on that? And to me, I kind of have to weigh the options. And to me, it seems like it's a smart choice to make. It's not every single ABC. It's not it's more of a completed structure. If this was just the first ABC within an A wave, or smaller A wave, I would say no. But to me, this is an a little bit more completed of an A wave. We have a pullback to a B, and we have a C wave here. So for me, unfortunately, you guys are not going to be able to see what I'm doing live, but I'll give you a quick rundown. But I'm pretty much going to take this as soon as it gets back above. The pivot is going to be, I'm going to aim for my entry to be around 1486.90. So I'll give you a rundown what that looks like after. Just want to make sure I get my conditional in. If you guys want me to go over that setup, I definitely can. All right, so let me do, can I do 1486.9? Oh, I'm on BTC. Duh, that makes sense. Then why wasn't working? 1486.9. ETH, we're going to do order by quantity. And then if I go to the calculator here, we're going to go back down to 1,000. It's going to be costly. It's going to be a $40 ETH value cost. 8 or 8, 7, 0.6, 0.65, 6.6. All right, 6.5. Stop loss. Long, it's going to be 75% of 25x. Enter. Okay. All right. I set a conditional. Let's see. Oh, that seems to fit what I'm looking for fitting time between kids at work. Also seems like a nice strategy to fit with some Wyckoff range trading I was already starting to learn. Saw the video a week ago. Definitely want to get the hang of this. Oh, that's awesome, Skinny. If you guys are interested, this is something that William and I have been working with together, and David and William have been more than giving. Like, I can't believe, like, they helped me a lot. Same thing, Vlad here. Vlad has helped me a lot throughout my YouTube career. Give me good advice, some good pointers, and they've also been working with me, helping me out as much as they can. And if you guys are interested, this is one of the things they gave me, and I still can't believe they did this. If you guys are interested in getting access to the Trigger Trade Bot, you actually get lifetime access when you join the group, my Discord, for a lifetime. It's not required. If you guys are interested, if you guys are in the Discord, I'll go ahead and post a link to the payment link if you guys are interested in joining. If you guys are viewing this from the YouTube stream, just keep in mind, like I said, none of this is really required. I stream twice, 3 times a week on my channel. I also come on here once a week. You guys can ask me any questions you want. There's just little extra perks, little extra benefits that comes with working with the group. I know some of you guys are in here. I know Gitzer is in my group, Rich is in my group, BitAreas is in my group. And they can, if they want to vouch for me, they can. They don't have to. Rich, I know you're in here. Well, if you want, I can take a look at some Forex pairs, or if I know you trade little different markets than I do. So if you want me to look at something a little different, maybe something that you look at, definitely let me know. But there's a lot of information in the Discord. Also, you get lifetime access to it. Skinny D, I'm not trying to shill to say if you are interested in that. I think it's a lot of value when it comes to learning the strategy as well as implementing the Trigger Trade Bot. So, I do invite you if you guys are interested, but it's absolutely not required. All right, let's continue. Definitely can check that out. All right, cool. Let me finish here, Skinny D. I'll send it if you want. I'll post it in chat here, or if you want to go ahead and I will DM you privately, and you can go ahead and check it out there if you're interested. But just letting you guys know. Actually, I'll make an announcement once we get closer to my 1K subscriber mark. But yeah, Rich, I'm switching over to we're gonna do stocks and traditional markets. So I know you trade differently. You don't trade crypto at the moment. Let's see. Hey, I'm a bit quiet. Would be good. I'm live in an EG short just to see how you view it. Absolutely. Can you just let me know what the exchange is for that, or do I just type in EG? I'm just gonna go through the S&P and all that stuff. Vantage. Okay, cool. I'll definitely add that on my list. I'll take a look at that here, but we're gonna move over to traditional markets here and give you guys a little bit of an opinion of what I think is going on. All right, so the SPY on a larger scale, we have an ABC to an a B, and a C. And as long as we're above that pivot of 361.79, we definitely look bullish at the moment. But we are currently fighting in this region of continuation. What I mean by that is that we possibly have a bearish continuation set up here. And we're basically fighting at the pivot. So if we can maintain below about $410, that's definitely going to be a little bit of a bearish look, in my opinion, or things might be looking bearish. And we could be forming something like this: A to a B to a C. If that's not the case, and let's say we potentially just keep going up, ultimately, I would look for the high to be tested. There's a couple stops in between, but I'd like to see that pivot be tested, and that would put in a much larger ABC off of the rally of the COVID rally, or from the beginning of the COVID rally. That would be a monumental short position if that can hold. But we'll have to see how that handles once we get past this region, if we get past this region. All right. Let's do the ES. ES, the same thing. It's kind of fighting in that region. The same. It's basically S&P mini futures. Basically, the pivot's a little bit different. We're currently below that pivot, so we'll have to see how that behaves if we continue to hold below. DXY. I know DXY is important, so we can go over that. I wonder if did the DXY put in a higher high? It did not. Okay. All right. So for the DXY, if you guys are new, we'll go ahead and do 2 week. Oh, sorry. No. 2 day, 3 day. There you go. The DXY is currently holding above a major macro bearish ABC. All right. We have the ABC there, and we have an A to a B to a C. As long as we're below 103, well, actually, what is the more exact level? 103.80. Things are looking pretty bearish for the DXY. As you can see, if I zoom into 1 hour, we're kind of bouncing off, rejecting off that region at the moment. Ideally, I would like to see maybe a fake push back above before continuing downward to put in this ABC position. At the moment, things are looking pretty bearish for the DXY. That's why I'm a little bit more bullish when it comes to cryptos at the moment, just because of how the DXY is behaving. Doesn't mean that can't change, but like I'm saying before, this macro pivot, we came up, we tested it, we got 2 rejections off. We'll have to see if this continues to hold back below. But if we do push through without putting in a reversal setup, I definitely would be a little bit more cautious on BTC and other assets in general. But that's a fantastic move. You also have the possibility of this happening. Well, this is be a part of an AB to a C. So if that is the case, I need to see this pivot be tested down here. Yeah. Let me go ahead and just mark these levels out for you guys. All right. Let's see. All right. So I'll do EG for Rich here. EG Vantage. I wonder, is it an indice? Like height advantage? Maybe that might help. Huh. Rich, how do you filter this out? Oh, it's Euro GBP, British pound? Or is this different? Try typing Euro G. Okay. Euro. Right? Did I get that right? GBP. And then
First or
the
second, it's
advantage.
fine.
Okay. We'll do. Let me know if this is the right. I know it's a different exchange, but let me know if it's accurate, Rich. Okay.
That's fine.
Just let me know. Okay. Don't yell at me, Vlad. No, I'm kidding. So pretty much what we got going on here is a potential right off the bat. This is a very nice ABC. Currently holding a below that pivot. So on a much larger scale, this looks pretty good for a short setup. Let me look at see the thing is with Forex. I want to see if I can find like major larger trends. Okay. This looks like an A, B, C here. And then we're possibly working on an A to a B, an A to a B situation here. So I would view this as a completed structure. All right. Now the question is that the beginning or the end of something? Man, this thing loves to range. A, B, C, A, B, C. So this would be an A to a B to a C. Okay. So on the larger scale, it looks like it wants to do something like this. Okay. And it does have the structure to show that it could possibly do that. What I mean by that is if this point here is that end of that wave, we're looking at this as an ABC to an A, ABC to a B, and then we're looks like we're gonna at least come down and test, or at least I would say I would want to come down and test that 85.47, whatever that low is. Yeah, to a green line. Yeah, that's what I would say it would probably want to go to. Another possibility is maybe it builds out further, and maybe we get something like this. That's also possible. Maybe we come up and maybe push for that high. That's what I would say. But like I said, Forex is kind of tough for me. I would love to trade this, but I need to find a consistent and profitable system. Um, Mostly what that comes down to is understanding like what kind of stop losses to use, what time frames that best work with it. ABCs do respect it. I will say that. I can sit here and view that there's a good amount of ABCs that it does respect. So there definitely is potential in Forex. But based off what I've seen and what Rich has been going back in my group and communicating different ideas as well, and I love it. Rich, I noticed your most recent post. I'm sorry I haven't gotten to it. I will read it after the stream and I'll let you know what I think. But primarily, this is what I'm working with. This is what I'm thinking is going to be the case at the very least. Either we're going to come pull back for continuing higher, or maybe we're just done and we're working our way back down to test that 85.47 off of this ABC. But that's a great find. Let's see. No worries. Your shoreline is pretty much where I am, although I think my entry is not as good as yours. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I'm depending on where you decide to get into this. I mean, as long as we're below, you still have that the shorts to your side, I would say, at the very least. But it looks good. Let's see. Gold. Oh, gold fell off a cliff. We're gonna do gold, silver, real quick. Let's see. It looks like on a larger perspective here that we're working with something like this. Now, this ABC has completed possibly down here, which I'm primarily looking at. And we're possibly working on an A to a B structure. Maybe we come back down a little bit further, or maybe we come up, put in another high before reversing. There's a couple different options here. The main one is put in another high before reversing. If we manage to break that high, we continue upward and test the pivot of this A, which is around 2076. And also we can easily come back. I'm not saying this is a little bit more of an extreme case, but you do have a possibility of this becoming an A to a B to a C. Like I said, it's a little more of an extreme possibility of what could be going on. But if that is the case, you want that low of the B to be broken. And that's pretty much going to be it for that. Let me just mark out the price labels here. That's important. This is important. And actually, this is important. Right, so keep those levels in mind. When it comes to silver has been interesting. Okay, it hasn't dumped as much as gold has. But it looks like it's in the process of doing a couple things. One, we have bottomed off of this ABC. And we're working on a possible AB structure. Something to do like that. Or maybe we come back down as a possible ABC here. Also in the realm of possibilities. Ultimately, if we do not get a push higher, or we do not find support anywhere in this region, we're probably going to come down and test that low. If not, I'm looking for the high to be tested here at around $30. Unfortunately, there's no really good positions to take for me personally. All I can do is work with the larger perspectives here and see where the viable pivots are, the points of interest, I would call it. Oh, what am I doing? All right, but that's pretty much it for silver. I'm going to do a couple more here. I can't forget Vlad and his BMW. So we're going to do that.
I was ready to say it.
All right. Interesting. Did you get that high yet? You did not get that higher high. Vlad's almost time to sell.
Close. Also, Tesla. Have you heard of the new launch of the new Tesla on March 1st?
No, what are they doing?
There is some sort of poster which says like, hey, there is a investors meeting on March 1st, I believe. And if you're looking at the poster, there is nothing special. It's like circuits. But if you zoom in, there is like a car chassis seen from the left side. No, right side. Yeah, from the right side. And the chassis doesn't like look like any Tesla model so far. It's like a Golf size car, like a Volkswagen Golf.
Are they making a cheaper version of the Model 3?
$20,000, yeah.
That would be crazy.
25, I guess, something like that. That would be crazy. Yeah, I'm down. I mean, I'm ready to pay the $100, which was like with the Cybertruck. Yeah, I'm ready to pay for the, how do you call it, the reservation.
I might do that too, actually.
Yeah,
So
well worth
anyway,
it.
I'll check out Tesla here. I'll check out that poster, and maybe we'll see if we can get some news later on. But when it comes to BMW, the main pivot, the main setup I see at the moment is that it looks like we're gonna come up and break that 142 level. So we break above and get back below. No, not good for BMW. But if we continue to push, I would say the next. It looks like if it does continue to push, I would want to say this looks like a part of a much larger ABC here. So that main pivot is going to be at about 124.51, right? So if we get a break above 142, we don't put in that bearish setup. I'm looking ultimately for 125, 124 and a half to go. Actually, where is that? About 124 to be tested. Yeah, that's pretty much it for that. And I'll take a look at Tesla. Anybody else have anything they want me to look at, traditional market wise?
Before you check the Tesla, I've uploaded the pictures with the poster in the conversation chat.
Interesting. Take a look. That is pretty cool. All right, let's see. I've been seeing 15 and 30-minute being directly successful on Forex. Could be a good time frame to start with. For harmonic patterns, UK 100 might take a short. I might have a short. All right, I'll take a look at that after Tesla here. So Tesla. All right, looks like I got a rejection off of the break above the previous A wave. That's the main ABC I'm looking for. Fortunately, we did not get a good ABC entry. I would have liked to buy some Tesla. There was a lot of support in this region here, based off of these local lows. Definitely a good area to buy some if you're just if you're just trying to buy local support. Me personally, I was just waiting for an ABC, but we never got that. The main pivot back above is 208, and we kind of see we tested it, got rejection. So we'll see how it behaves. Ultimately, you want to get a clear push to the upside before you can be a little bit more confident in a further upswing for Tesla. Let's go ahead and check. Let's see, UK 100. Okay, I think I see what you're talking about. Skinny. Possible ABC here. You get back below 79.47.30. The major pivot to get back below is around 78.77. So there's a couple different setups to play into, but there's definitely some possible bearish reversals coming here for the UK 100. But yeah, it's okay. All right. Does anybody else have any other requests or questions for me while we're still here? Make sure I got everyone. Everyone should put Tesla on first on their hotline. Yeah, you never know. I'll definitely be taking a look at that. All right. If anyone doesn't have any more questions, we're gonna go ahead and wrap things up here. I do appreciate you guys for coming in, stopping by, asking great questions, saying hello. If you guys are interested in looking further into ABCs, how I do things, my YouTube channel's in the link in the description of the live stream. So please go ahead. If you're not subscribed, I would appreciate the sub. I stream 3 times a week. I will let you guys know when I stream. It's usually Sunday, Tuesday. It's Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday at around 1 p.m. EST. And I believe that's, 6 p.m. UK? Yeah, 6 p.m. UK time. So I look forward to seeing you guys there if you guys can make it. You guys will also get a chance to ask you any questions on those streams as well as this. So yeah, I do appreciate you guys stopping by. I will be here again next Monday at the same time, 12:30 EST. What is that? 5:30 UK. So look forward to seeing you guys there. Until then, be good, be safe. Trade the plan. Now you can have the plan, and hopefully we'll get a move, and hopefully we can talk about some more things on next stream. So until then, take care, folks. I appreciate you. I'll see you on the next one.
Thanks,
Thank
Johnny.
you very much, Johnny. Goodbye.
Cheers.